We are from Group Speech X. Let me introduce our group. My name is Ibrahim Marbun.
My name is Calvin Siregar.
My name is Elizabeth Wilara.
My name is Septani Manoli Sinaga. My academic number is 2201030054.
Enjoy our video.
Speech act is speech while do something in speech act. There is an action or event occurs, and speech act also refers to action performed via utterance. For the example, the teacher says, "You may begin the exam." Now, the exam officially starts as the teacher speaks. The utterance give permissions and initiates an event. And next, the second example, the priest say, "I now pronounce you husband and wife." It means a couple becomes officially married by the utterance. And then, the utterance itself performs the act of marriage. And now I will explain the three aspects of speech act. The first is locutionary act or locusi. It is statement with meaning but without any aim. Example, person A, let's go, and person B, answer, I'm cooking. Locutionary act or locusi. And next, the second is illocutionary act or illocusi. It means statement with meanings and also aim statements with asking question. And the third is perlocutionary act or perlocusi. It means influence of illocutionary act to the listener. Person A, I want to have permission to go home back. And person B, I'm cooking right now. It means illocutionary acts. A is making a request to leave, asking for permission. And perlocutionary act, B indirectly refuses by saying they are busy, causing A to possibly feel rejected or postpone the request. And next, I will explain the example of speech act. The first is locutionary act. Person A, are you joining the meeting? And person B answer, I'm in the library. It's mean locutionary. B hanya menyatakan keberadaannya, tidak ada masuk lain. And the second example is, what are you doing? I'm reading a book. Person B hanya menjawab pertanyaan secara faktual. Next, illocutionary act. Person A, do you want to go to the party? Person B answer, I have a lot of assignments. It means B secara tidak langsung menolak ajakan dari person A. And the second is, can I borrow your charger? Person B answer, my battery is at 10%. It means B menyeratkan bahwa ia tidak bisa meminjamkan chargernya. And next, the last is perlocutionary act. Person A, my head hurts so bad. And person B answer, let me get some medicine. It means B terpengaruh oleh ucapan A dan bertindak memberikan bantuan kepada person A. And the second example is, I don't have money for lunch today. And person B answer, I'll buy you something to eat. It means B merasa simpati dan tergerak untuk membantu person A.
Now I will explain to you speech act classification. Generally, there are 5 types of speech act according to its function. The first one is declaration. Declaration in speech act is speakers change reality throughout their utterance. The words themselves make something happen. For example, in the football, the referee said, "You are out." The player is officially out because the referee has the authority to declare it. Supporter cannot say, "You are out," with the same effect because they lack institutional power to change the status of the game. Number 2 is representative. The definition of the representative is the speaker states what they believe to be true or false. This type of utterance represents their belief about the world. For example, the earth is flat. this shows the speaker believes the earth is flat. It also implies that the speaker does not believe the earth is round. And the third is expressive. Expressive is when the speaker expresses their feelings or emotional state in response to a situation. It reflects what the speaker feels, not what is true or false. For example, "I'm really sorry." This utterance shows that the speaker feels regret or sadness. It expresses the speaker's psychological or emotional reacting to a certain condition or event. And number 4 is directive. The speaker tries to get the listener to do something. This includes comments, requests, orders, or suggestions. For example, "Give me a cup of coffee, make it black." This utterance is a command. It shows that the speaker wants the listener to perform an action or bring coffee specifically black. And the last is commissive. The definition is the speaker commits to a future action. This includes promises, threats, refusals, or pledges. For example is, "I'll be back." This utterance is a promise from the speaker to return. Depending on the tone context, the statement can have a positive or negative impact on the listener. That's the explanation of the speech edge classification. Thank you. I will explain to you the direct and indirect speech act. The first one is direct speech type. The description, structure, and function are the same. The sentence says exactly what it means. For example, "Close the window." It's a command. And the second type is indirect speech. Structure and function are different. The form may look like a statement but function differently. For example, "It's cool in here." It's a request to close a window. Utterance like "It's cool in here" can be used to get someone to act, even though they don't explicitly state the speaker's intention. The speakers may choose to be direct or explicit, or indirect or implied, based on politeness, context, or social norms.
Direct speech act. The definition is a direct speech act occurs when there is a clear match between a sentence structure or form and its communicative functions or what it does. The speaker's intention is explicit and easily understood. For example is from Yule 1996. For the first sentence type is declarative. The example is "You wear a seatbelt," and the function making a statement. And the second interrogative. For the example is "Do you wear a seatbelt?" The function asking a question. And the last imperative. For the example, "Wear a seatbelt," and the function is giving a command. Indirect speech act. The definition is according to Shirley or in Thomas 1995. An indirect speech act is when an act is performed by means of another. This means there is an indirect relationship between the form of the sentence in the communicative functions. And the example, Yule 1996. The sentence type is interrogative, and the example is "Could you pass the salt?" And then the actual function is making a request. And the second declarative. For the example is "You're standing in front of the TV." And the actual function is asking someone to move.
What is speech event? According to Kerr and Agustina, 1995 at 61, a speech event is the occurrence or process of linguistic interaction in one or more utterance involving two parties, the speakers and the hearer, center on a specific topic within a particular time, place, and situation. Examples of speech event: 1. A seller and a buyer negotiating in a market. 2. A class discussion in a lecture room. 3. An office meeting. 4. A court trial. What is not a speech event? A casual conversation between strangers on a bus or train is not considered speech event because 1. The topic is unclear or constantly changing. 2. There is no specific purpose. 3. The conversation is unintentional or spontaneous. 4. The language variety keeps shifting. Here's components of a speech event by Del Himes with speaking model. We can remember speaking. S for setting and scene, P for participant, E for hands, A for X sequence, K for key, I for instrumentalities, N for norms, G for genre. Setting and scenes. This is the time and physical place as well as the social situation where it occurs. Participant. This is the speaker, hearer, and any other participant involved. Ends. This is the purpose, goals, and expected outcomes of the interaction. X sequence. This is the form and content of what is said and how the speech unfolds. K. This is the tone, manner, or spirit in which the speech act is carried out. Instrumentalities. This is the channel of communication like oral, written, sign language, etc. and language use. Norms. This is the social rules governing the interaction and interpretation. This is the type of speech act like storytelling, lecture, debate, prayer, and interview.
The speech according to Dale Hymes. First is the message form. Message form is how the content is expressed, include style, structure, or whether it's direct or indirect. Second is message content. Message content is what is the being said or the actual topic or subject matter of utterance. Third, setting. Setting is the time and physical place where the speech event occurs. Next is a scene. What is that? Scene is the physical logical setting or cultural context, refers to formality, seriousness, and the next is the speaker or sender. What is that? Speaker or sender is the person or group who utterance the message aloud. Next is addresser. What is an addresser? Addresser is the person or source who intelligently delivers message, maybe as same as the addresser, and the hearer, and the next is a hearer, receiver, or audience. The person is that the person who hear the message, not always directly addressed, and the addresser is the specific person to whom the message is directed. And next is the purpose outcome. What is that? Is the expected as a result of effect of the utterance. And next is the purpose goal. What is that? The purpose goal is the entire goal or motivation the speaker who delivering the utterance. And next is the K. K is the tone, spirit, or manner in which is the message delivered. And next is channel. Channel is the medium of communication, spoken, written, telephonic, digital, and etc. And form of speech is the variety or code used in the communication, such as a language, dialect, or register. Next is the norm of interaction. Norm interaction is the social rules governing interaction, turn taking, volume, politeness, and interruption. Norm of interaction. How to interpret the message properly within the cultural and social context. And the last is the genre. Genre is the type of category speech aids, HIG, narrative, proverb, poem, prayer, and lecturer, and etc. Example of speech event. Speech event. First is the classroom lesson. In the context, the teacher and student in a classroom, and the typical of speech path is asking question, giving explanation. And the second is job interview. In the context, emperor and candidate in the formal setting. Typical speech net is greeting, questioning, answering, and taking. And the third is the wedding speech. The context is the formal ceremony, and the typical speech is the complimenting, narrating, and taking. And the next is the casual conversation. And the context is the friends at a cafe. Typical speech is greeting, joking, fun, storytelling. And the last is the gone trial. And in the context is the legal environment, and typical speech is accusing, testifying, judging, and objecting.
Speech event versus speech act. A speech act For example, asking, promising, or ordering is a single unit of communicative function. A speech event is a larger unit that may include many speech acts and follow socio-cultural norms. For example, in a classroom discussion, there might be a speech act like questioning, answering, and clarifying. All of these acts together form the speech event of a classroom discussion. Importance of speech event in linguistics. First, to help analyze language in context. Second, to reveal social relationship, power dynamic, and cultural values through communication. The third is aids in teaching language learner how to use language appropriately in different situations. For example, pragmatic competence.
That's our presentation. Thank you for watching. See you guys.